And now, a passage from California of the South by Walter Lindley and Joseph Pomeroy Widney. Santa Barbara, America's Menton. Having returned from Nordhoff, the tourist will doubtless take the train on the Southern Pacific Road for Santa Barbara, 30 miles westward. Again will he refer to his map in order to comprehend what he sees. The hills and mountains hug the sea so closely that the railroad is obliged to run almost upon the ocean 2/3 of the distance. A more interesting ride by rail could not be conceived. For 30 miles the ocean is ever in sight. At times, on looking from one side of the car, nothing can be seen but the deep blue sea, and it takes but a slight stretch of imagination for the traveler to believe that he is out on the ocean sailing. The ocean surf can be heard beating under the train, as though it were against the sides of a ship, and now and then a white-winged schooner flits across the watery vista. The cool saline breeze fans the forehead, and without the nausea of a sea voyage, the tourist has all of its pleasures. 10 miles from Santa Barbara and 20 miles from San Buenaventura, the railroad passes through the western edge of the Carpinteria Valley. This is a body of rich land about 10 miles square. Carpinteria is a collection of homes and farms where the lima bean and the English walnut are the chief sources of wealth. All the various kinds of fruits are raised. Now Santa Barbara, the renowned Menton of America, is reached. Well does it deserve to be so called. Really, though, it is superior to Menton as a health resort for Americans. It has all the climatic attributes of Menton. It has the elegant hotels, delightful surf bathing, pleasant drives, and besides all these, it has a refined, educated, hospitable American social life. The Santa Barbara Mission is the one point that above all every tourist wishes to see. This mission was founded December 4th, 1786, and was the 11th one founded in the state of California. It is a very large, tile-covered building in an excellent state of preservation. It is situated in the northern part of the city, and its belfry can be seen from the Arlington Hotel. The founders of this mission were men of wonderful prescience. They built a stone aqueduct several miles long to supply their mission with water, and this same water system is the one that now supplies the city of Santa Barbara. Other means of getting water are at hand, but with its present population of 7,000, no greater water supply is needed. In 1812, the mission fed 1,300 people, and it had 4,000 head of cattle, 8,000 sheep, 250 swine, 1,322 horses, and 142 mules, and its productions for that year were 3,852 bushels of wheat, 400 bushels of corn, 126 bushels of barley, and 26 bushels of beans. In 1828, it possessed 40,000 head of cattle, 3,000 horses, 20,000 sheep, and 160 working oxen. Mrs. Jackson's description of this mission is interesting reading. The rich toned bells were imported from Spain over 100 years ago. After visiting the mission, the tourist should go a few steps away to the reservoir and aqueduct and see how well the Holy Fathers planned for the future. In 1850, the first roster of county officers was elected. Edward L. Hoar, a brother of United States Senator Hoar of Massachusetts, was the first district attorney, but was the next year elected county assessor. In the year 1851, Santa Barbara had become a place of considerable importance, and the city council entered into an agreement with Captain Salisbury Haley, a civil engineer at Los Angeles, to lay out the city in uniform blocks, 150 yards square, all streets with the exception of two to be 60 feet wide, State and Carrillo streets to be 80 feet wide. The survey was accepted, and Captain Haley was paid $2,000 by the council. After years of litigation, this survey received a final legal confirmation. January 24th, 1869, the Santa Barbara Press, which is now also a daily, was established as a weekly. September 23rd of that year, Honorable William H. Seward visited Santa Barbara and made a felicitous speech. In 1876, Santa Barbara celebrated the centennial with great enthusiasm. Colonel N.A. Covarrubias, now of Los Angeles, was president of the day. Reverend Stephen Bowers, D.D., the noted scientist and editor, now of Ventura, was orator of the day. And Colonel H.G. Otis, now of the Los Angeles Daily Times, commanded the military division of the procession. The Princess Louise and the Marquis of Lorne spent a part of one season here and were profuse in their praises of Santa Barbara's climate, products, and society. Santa Barbara prides herself on being more aesthetic and cultured than her somewhat plebeian sisters, San Diego and Los Angeles. and the impress of royalty that the Princess Louise gave the city had a very expansive and exhilarating effect. Santa Barbara citizens are noted for their politeness. A curious idle tourist watched two of the city's leading professional men for one day, and in that time they met on the street and elsewhere 20 times, and each time raised their hats and shook hands with each other. Such virtue carries its own reward. After visiting the mission, the tourist should visit the home of Mr. Deblis on the point above the city. This is without exception the grandest residence in Southern California and commands a complete view of the city and harbor. Santa Barbara takes great pride in her public library and gives each year a Rose Carnival or fair for its benefit. Mrs. E.A. Otis, enclosing a description of this festival in 1887 for the Los Angeles Daily Times, says, "This fair has been a rare success. It will close this evening and add one more to the floral triumphs of Southern California, where winds are hushed nor dare to breathe aloud, where skies seem never to have borne a cloud." Santa Barbara has several banks and 3 daily newspapers, Press, Independent, and Herald. It has numerous churches and secret societies. There are fruit canneries, brickyards, and other manufacturing establishments on a smaller scale. In this work, allusions in detail to hotels have been very infrequent, but the Arlington of Santa Barbara must be mentioned. It was built in 1875 by a joint stock company at a cost of $170,000. After the climate, the Arlington has done more than any other agency toward giving Santa Barbara its favorable reputation as a health resort. The people of Santa Barbara should look with great pride and gratitude on this hotel and its beautiful grounds. The writer of these lines has always paid full rates when he stopped at this hostelry, but there was a satisfaction in it. The hotel is well furnished, well managed. Santa Barbara has a south frontage on the ocean and slopes gently to the foothills back of the town. It is brilliantly lighted by electricity and has a good system of streetcars. Its principal business is done on State Street. The following table of monthly mean temperatures of the seawater is conclusive proof of the advantages of Santa Barbara for surf bathing. Montecito, 3 miles away, should be next visited. Reverend E.P. Rowe, the noted author, speaks of Montecito as a villa region of blossoming gardens and green lawns. Mr. Rowe visited Montecito January 1st and says, "The orange trees were each laden with from 1,000 to 2,000 golden-hued oranges, in addition to the green ones not to be distinguished from the leaves in the distance. Even so early in the season, there were a sufficient number of blossoms to fill the air with fragrance. The brook babbled with a summer-like sound, and the illusion of summer was increased by the song of birds. The flutter of butterflies in the warm sunshine, rendering vivid the gold and glossy green of the groves. Rising near and reflecting down the needed heat were the rocky and precipitous slopes of the Santa Ynez Mountains. Turning on one's heel, the silver sheen of the Pacific Ocean, gemmed with islands, stretched away as far as the eye could reach. Could this be January? This is to Santa Barbara as Pasadena is to Los Angeles. There are homes here that would be an ornament to the suburbs of any city. It was at Montecito that the big grapevine grew that was cut down and taken to the Centennial at Philadelphia. This vine's trunk was 18 inches in diameter, and its foliage covered an area equal to 10,000 square feet. It has produced in 1 year 12,000 pounds of grapes. There is now another vine growing here that bids fair to equal the parent vine. Another trip to be taken is a day's picnic drive to the Hollister and Cooper Places 12 miles west of Santa Barbara. The farm of the late Colonel Hollister consists of 4,800 acres. There are 10,000 almond trees, making it the largest almond orchard in the world. There are also 1,200 orange, 500 lemon, 500 lime, and 1,000 olive trees. There are also 4,000 English walnut trees and 200 Japanese persimmon, a rich, luscious fruit trees. In 1872, Colonel Hollister sent to Japan for 25 bushels of seed of the tea plant and at the same time imported 2 Japanese tea growers. He raised 50,000 plants, about 8 inches high, but they failed to reach perfection. The date palm groves form an elegant shade for picnic grounds. Adjoining Colonel Hollister's place is the noted ranch of Elwood Cooper, consisting of over 2,000 acres. Mr. Cooper was the first to introduce the eucalyptus into Southern California, and he is said to have 200,000 of these trees, including over 50 varieties, on his place. Mr. Cooper is most noted as an enthusiastic olive grower and manufacturer of olive oil. He began planting olives in 1873. The olive tree flowers in June, and its fruit ripens in January. 20 gallons of berries give 3 gallons of first-class oil. Mr. Cooper also has large orchards of citrus and deciduous fruits. On these 2 great fruit farms, irrigation has proved to be the great factor. It is a curious fact that in the occasional years of drought in Southern California, the mountain streams that supply the water for irrigating have not failed.